Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Serein, and today is going to be a first impression tester Tuesday of a foundation. This is the Bobbi Brown Skin Longwear Weightless foundation with SPF 15, and it's brand new to me. I've never tried this product, so I'm very excited to test it out. With all of my first impression foundation reviews or makeup reviews, you guys, if you're new, I always use natural light and whatever light is available throughout the day. So I show you close up, super HD, what this product looks like on my skin. I do half my face first so you can compare with the other half. Then I show you what it looks like with other products on, and I check in throughout the day using a very ultra HD camera with whatever lights available so that you always know what the product looks like if you were to order it or purchase it yourself. I give you my final wear test at the end of the day, letting you know how it wore, if there's any issues I encountered, and if you want to know if I still like the product, if I still hate the product, or if I'm still on the fence about a product, check out the blog post in the description box. I always update these newer reviews with an updated post on how I think the foundation truly performs after testing out for a full 7 to 10 days. So I know sometimes with first impression reviews, you only have that first impression, and even though I share with you guys a wear test, you don't know what it's going to look like day to day, depending on the weather, depending on your day, depending on your skin. So it could break you out after a couple of days, or it could be a product you really fall in love with after a couple of days when you're kind of with the initial first impression. So my full blog review will be up as well by the time this video is live, and that will be linked in the description box. Now, without further ado, let's get started with the first impression tester Tuesday of the Bobbi Brown Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation. Okay, let's get started. I have some Bobbi Brown skincare prep that's designed to go with their face products and their complexion products. I actually haven't used this stuff in a while. The vitamin enriched eye base is new, but the vitamin enriched face base is very, very famous, very like classic, and I remember using it a while back because of YouTube. So I'm actually just gonna scrape a little bit and put it on the face. So it's got shea butter in it, which is great, especially if you have dry skin. You really want to prep your skin before makeup by making sure you exfoliated the night before and have very good hydration to allow the product to sit nicely on the skin. Ignore my brows. Probably need to get them done at some point. It's been like over a year thanks to COVID, but okay. So that really just hydrates, moisturizes your skin, some yummy vitamins, hyaluronic acid, and shea butter. Let's do the eye balm, which is going to be great, especially if you have drier under eyes. I know that a lot of concealers can crease. I don't have a Bobbi Brown concealer to play with today, but I will be applying other products. So and I always tend to be extra dry, like right around my brow bone. I don't know why. But really prep around the orbital bone. Okay, so I have 3 shades. This is going to be warm beige, which might be the best match for me, I think. And then there is natural tan, which is not as warm, but I actually think it might be, I don't know. And then we've got neutral golden, which is going to be way too dark for me. So I think it's going to be between natural tan and warm beige. They almost look identical, but I think warm beige is probably more my tone right now, so we're gonna go here. I really like the frosted glass packaging and the pump. Always love that, especially in a more higher end product. And then this does have a combination of chemical and physical SPF. However, SPF 15 really isn't enough, especially in a foundation product. So I always recommend wearing an SPF of 30 or higher as a standalone skincare protection kind of a thing. So SPF is always the last step of your skincare, and you really need an SPF of 30 or higher every single day. So I'm going to pump a little on the back of my hand. So that's about a full pump. The consistency, I like that the consistency is very traditional, not too watery, not too thick. And then I also have the Bobbi Brown Full Coverage Face Brush, which is designed to go with the foundation. Let's do half my face. And I like to start with the center of my face and work out for the most natural kind of application. Color match seems to be pretty good. There's a little bit of a fragrance or scent, but it's not bad. Very fresh, not florally, which I appreciate. I'm liking the more demi-matte finish. I wouldn't say this is super matte, which is nice. I'm not a big super matte fan. And the coverage, I would say with one pump, using a brush and kind of blotting it on from the center out, is going to be more of a medium to full coverage. Obviously this is a full coverage foundation, so I probably need to use a little bit more product. While this brush is designed for this product, I think you might be able to get even more of a fuller coverage if you went with a denser packed brush. I know there's denser packed brushes with the bristles, so that could provide a little more full coverage with less product. So I'm just gonna kind of go in with one more pump to build up that coverage, since this is intended to be a little bit of a more full coverage look. But what I do like is that while it's a full coverage foundation, it doesn't seem to be cakey or heavy on the skin, which I appreciate. I am all about comfort, and I hate that look of makeup, that textured makeup look. If you have been around with me a while, you know that about me. I always like to almost look like, is she wearing makeup or is she not? And I really love to have the color products be the show, and people just think, oh, you have beautiful skin. So that's 2 pumps. I would say it's definitely more coverage than I typically go for on a day-to-day, but I really love that it's giving me a little bit more coverage, but really looks like skin, feels lovely on the skin, and did get rid of my pores around here. I have enlarged pores here and a little bit of redness and violet. It did not diminish this vein, but very few products do, especially without like really focusing on that. It brightened up my skin because I do have darkness around my mouth, and it seems to kind of even it out a bit. And more importantly, I like that it feels like it's settled into the skin in a nice way where I don't need to set it with a powder. And if you're super oily, I would say always blot the oily areas with a setting powder for longevity. But I'm really loving this, like how it just set nicely, and it still lets my skin kind of look like it's my skin. Okay, so you'll see this is the covered side, and then this is the non-covered side. So definitely looks more awake, brighter, healthier, glowier, but still matte. Let's go in with the other side. 2 pumps on each side. This is what it looks like. I feel pretty good in it. I think if you wanted to add more coverage, you can, but it might start looking a little bit more textural or more like foundation sitting on the skin versus that beautiful kind of flawless skin but a little bit of makeup look. If you wanted to add more coverage, honestly, I would say just focus on your trouble areas to build up. Maybe use a concealer instead, and especially if you have anything like this vein you want to cover up, I would use a concealer versus foundation. This is just a really nice base. I like the finish. I like the way it sits, and I think it's a decent amount of coverage. I know that some of those of you guys out there would prefer even more of a high coverage in terms of full coverage, but this is about as full coverage as I really want it to go before it looks a little too much. And I'm gonna go in with some of my other makeup and finish off my face, and I'll check back in throughout the day letting you know how the foundation is wearing. I really don't feel a need to set my entire face with this product. I feel like I will probably set any concealer that I apply, but this looks great. It's late morning right now, around 11 a.m. I will check back probably mid to late afternoon. As always, everything is natural light or whatever light's available. It is winter time here, so I'm gonna lose a little bit of light. But I think that's important for you guys to see, like how the product wears throughout the day in different lighting. And this is how it looks now. So I have all the rest of my makeup on. Excuse this situation. So I did not powder before applying other powder products, and this foundation definitely kind of like stuck a little bit between my hairline and my contour on my forehead, so I'm gonna fix that in a minute. But I wanted to hop on here and show you guys what it looks like with all of my other products, with the eye look, with any concealer under the eyes, with the powders, all that stuff. It does stick a little bit, so in order to fix that, you're gonna want to set your face with where you're going to apply any powder products that have color. So I should have probably set a little bit right there, but we can fix that in a minute. Hopefully. I need to go eat though before I get too hungry. So this is what it all looks like, super close up, early afternoon light. I will check in a couple of hours throughout the day, and of course my final wear test and kind of how everything looks at the end of the day. This is a skin textural issue I always have. Products just don't sit well here, and I have to figure out what to do and kind of blend that in. If you want to see this eye look or this whole face look, like the colors and products I used, I did film a get ready with me, super chatty get ready with me, my first one really as a mom. So that video will be up next week, and I will also there's not much else for me to say. That video will be up next week, so if you're curious about what's on my face, it'll be up next week. I'm gonna fix little bits after I eat, but I didn't set the foundation, which makes it a little tacky. So if you use any powder products, you definitely want to set. So actually, I'm gonna see if I can blend some of this out with the Orsay powder. Normally I would use my Jouer, but I just don't think contour sits well when it's a powder on me. See, it looks good on this side, but I think I went a little crazy here because I didn't have great lighting on this side with the natural light. So that's how much powder I'm setting, but that was really just to kind of try and blend things out, which did not work. So let me, what do I have? What can I blend? Let me see if I can. Yeah, no, I'm making it worse. We're just gonna leave it. Maybe not. I'll keep messing with it. But that's not really the foundation's fault. That's me forgetting to not mix cream on top of, or powder on top of cream. This side looks pretty. Enjoy this side. It's 4:30 and I'm standing by the window before I lose any more light. It's a rainy, cloudy day. I really like the foundation. I feel like it's looking pretty good. It's wearing nicely. I mean, considering Lillian was like touching my face, all this stuff, I think it looks pretty good. And then let's go into the mirror. You can see a little bit of texture, but that's just makeup texture. There's nothing wearing off or pilling, which is nice. I feel like maybe a little bit of the product is worn off on my chin, but this is the area that I get head-butted the most and that I personally touch and rub the most, as well as around my nose. But I think it looks really good. So I'll do one more check-in and final thoughts for first impression, as well as an updated review on the blog. Okay, it's 9 p.m. Lillian's sleeping in the other room, so I'm trying to be quiet, but this is the end of the day. Chances down here. I'm about to hop in the shower so I can pump, but I think the foundation looks really nice. It is wearing off a lot around here. I didn't do a ton of powder or setting it with powder, but this area is not looking so good. I was also really sweaty towards the end of the day because I was running around doing house chores and stuff, so around the nose it definitely wore off. Lillian definitely head-butted my chin off. Yeah, it's like missing a whole area. So I'm gonna play around with this foundation a little bit more. I wouldn't say it's super long wearing without properly setting it with a proper setting spray and setting powder, but I will try it with the setting spray and setting powder. I also wanted to try it mixed with the vitamin enriched face base. Like, instead of doing this first and then putting the foundation on, I wanted to do like one pump mixed with this and kind of create a more tinted moisturizer, which is really more my everyday look and their kind of pro tip. So I'm not sold on it for a long wear foundation, but for like a medium to full coverage, for me, this is a good foundation. I also really like the shade match. I just think it looks really good on me. I think warm beige 3.5 is just like the perfect shade match, which is kind of awesome. That rarely ever happens, especially when like I don't get to select the shade. So I think it's really good packaging. I think the formula is good. I just don't know that it's truly a long wear, and a lot of people might not think it's full coverage. So for me, it's full coverage. For those who really like a nice thick full coverage, it's going to be more of like a medium coverage for you. But I like the way it looks on my skin. I just have to figure out this situation. I've never worn foundation as a mom, and I definitely probably should set if I'm going to be running around sweating and having my daughter like rub her face against mine. Those are all of my thoughts for the first impression Tester Tuesday. I will of course update you guys in the blog post, link in the description box, after testing out for a full 7 to 10 days on whether or not I still have the same thoughts, or if there's like other ways I like playing with this foundation, or if I recommend it after 7 to 10 days. But right now I think you have a good first impression feel of whether or not you'd want to try this foundation out. It's probably hard to get a sample of anything right now. I do know Sephora, you can ask for a sample and they might make it for you depending on where you're located, but you can't like get the sample yourself or test any of these things. But Sephora's return policy is pretty good, and so is Nordstrom and a lot of places that carry Bobbi Brown. Okay, until next time, I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful rest of your day, and I hope you subscribe. Tune in every Tuesday for new beauty videos and most Fridays for ASMR. Bye!